back to the channel. My name is Mr. V and this is my review for Halloween Inferno Part 2. So I've been extremely excited to watch this film. I've done a couple of videos now on my channel talking about updates. I did a video on the official release date, which was obviously March the 31st, which was a couple of days ago. So I've now got some time to do a quick review for you. I just want to say a big thank you to James Coleman for letting me do this review, and I'm going to use a couple of stills from the movie, so a couple of scenes, so you will see a few little scenes added into this review. So hopefully that makes you go over to James Coleman's channel to watch the video, because it is absolutely brilliant. So let's talk a little bit about Halloween Inferno Part 2. It's obviously directed by James Coleman. The running time is 12 minutes 46, so it is 5 minutes longer than Halloween Inferno Part 1. A great opening, going back to the night of 1978, which was, it was really nice to see. A lovely homage to the very first Halloween movie directed by John Carpenter. It was very shot like for like from the original Halloween movie, which was great, where Michael gets shot 6 times and he falls off the balcony, and then we cut to the title credit with the flaming pumpkin, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm so glad they kept that in there and didn't decide to change it up. I love the story of Hawkins, and he goes into this house and suddenly the music plays and it's Mr. Sandman, which is from Halloween 2, 1980, directed by Rick Rosenthal, which was just a lovely little touch. As soon as I heard it, I was like, very nice, very nice. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. As I said before, I loved Hawkins' little story at the beginning, because obviously it's mentioned in Halloween 2018 that he was the one who captured Michael. So I thought it was really great to see Hawkins capturing him. Obviously Hawkins goes to this house and he sees a man sort of in the middle of the room. It's all dark, turns the man round and is obviously being stabbed. Then we see Michael Myers over the back of Hawkins. Hawkins turns around and Michael Myers has a little tussle with Hawkins. Then the next minute, Hawkins sort of gets thrown back against the wall and the police surround the house. You see lights flashing. They say, and they say that come out with your hands up, the old police routine. And that sort of shows that Michael got captured by Hawkins, and then it sort of jumps to Halloween Inferno Part 1 night. So, and the way they sort of reference that, obviously because at the end of Part 1, we saw that Michael got a new mask. So obviously I will talk a little bit more about the garage scene in a few minutes time. So I was guessing that the young girl who comes in to talk with the sheriff, her dad was killed by Michael in the car in Part 1. So if you've obviously seen Part 1, Michael kills a man in the car kind of in the very first scene after he comes out of the house with his burning mask. So I also like the police officer mentioned Laurie Strode, that she's escaped the hospital. So we know where she's sort of gone after the events of Halloween 2018, and that she's probably coming for Michael. So maybe we might see a little bit more of that in Part 3, because it's been announced that there's going to be a Part 3 to this. So that's really good. I'll talk a little bit more about the girl with the sheriff, because there is another scene with her a little bit later on in the film. So let's talk a little bit about the garage scene, because I think it's filmed so professional. This obviously is a fan-made film. So they've obviously got a certain budget, but the way it's filmed is it's absolutely brilliant. The cinematography is brilliant as well. Hats off to James Coleman and his crew. Again, the editing is fantastic. The way he cuts back with the man and the woman in the garage talking to each other. I like the way he panned up to the guy fixing his car at the very first scene. I thought that was really nice. My only little negative about this scene is the actors are a little bit over the top. But you do realise this is a fan-made film, and they obviously couldn't get probably professional actors in this film. But I think the actors do a good job. They are very believable, but there's just certain little times where they do go a little bit over the top of their performance. But apart from that, sorry, that is my little editing issue there. I just want to say that Michael is absolutely terrifying in this scene. Vince Coleman, who is James Coleman's brother, plays Michael Myers in this, and he has captured Michael perfectly in his presence, his head movements, and his body movements as well. It's just the way Michael he just owns every single shot that he's in. The way he's walking towards picking up a hammer at first, the way he caresses the hammer. Then when he goes and gets the axe going into the chest of the victim who's fixing his car in the garage is absolutely superb for a fan-made film, and I think it even looks better than some feature films today and that I've seen in the past, especially on this kind of budget. I want to say James and the crew should be very proud of what they've produced here with Halloween Inferno Part II. So we skip along, and I was going to say I love the news bulletin. In the next scene that comes on the TV, we then cut back to the young girl who found out about her dad being killed and one of the police officers that's with her. Yeah, I love the news bulletin because it kind of reminded me a little bit of Halloween 2 again, 1980, where there was a couple of little news bulletin scenes where they're starting to find out about Michael's night of killings. So very, very good. The last shot of the girl that when the police officer leaves her, she's obviously very upset still. It kind of got me feeling that she's going to go on a little bit of a revenge mission in part 3. The camera sort of lingers on her face, and she sort of gives this expression that she wants revenge, which was great. It sort of leaves us with a little bit of a cliffhanger. Just want to talk about the Loomis voiceover. I thought was so close to being Donald Pleasance. It absolutely spot on. It's a nice little homage to Halloween 2018 because they did that right at the beginning of the movie, where there's a voice tape audio recording of Donald Pleasance talking about the case. It's also used in Halloween H2O. Where they used an actor doing the voice of Donald Pleasance in the opening scene of the credits to mimic, again, the famous Dr. Loomis. So yeah, this is absolutely brilliant. It premiered, as I said, on the 31st of March, so please head over to the video, watch it, and I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below. So that's my take on Halloween Inferno Part 2. I want to say a big thank you again to James Coleman for letting me do this review and showing a few clips. And please again tune in to the video, and I'd love for you guys to comment, and please give a thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. And I'll say that I'm Mr. V, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Oh, fuck! Son of a bitch! Cindy! Hey, buddy. What do you want? If this is some sort of prank, it ain't funny! Get the fuck out of my garage! Fuck you! This ain't fucking funny! Cindy! Cindy, get out here! Fuck. Cindy! Cindy! Cindy, get out of here now! What are you doing with that? Put that back! Bring it on, motherfucker! No, please, please,